My sweet and lovely Virgos, this is your horoscope for December 2024. And December is packed with astrological events, meaning is packed with life events too. Now, December welcomes us with new moon on 1st of December in your house of family. Now, your house of family will be lit with new energy. New moons are all about new energies, new stories, new events, new people happening in your life, and it's happening at 9 degrees, meaning those of you who are born 31st of August, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this new moon. Now, new moon is happening in your fourth house and it's all about family. It might be you might get a news that there is a new member coming into your family. It might be that your family is getting bigger, like someone within your family is pregnant or actually already giving birth around this new moon. Also, it could be something related to real estate, because fourth house is also place where we live, where we call home, whatever is that, like what type of real estate is that, like whether it's apartment or house or land, whatever is that. So it could be about, you might buy a new real estate around this 1st of December, or you might be thinking and making a deals around your real estate project, like as an investment. There is also possibility, because Saturn will be also involved in this new moon, and Saturn is a planet of construction. You might start constructing a home, like a house or apartment, and also could be, but here, because Saturn will be making harsh angle from your house of partnerships, and in love and in business, like committed partnerships. Seems like those people, like let's say your husband or wife, won't be so much of a supportive of that idea, but still Mars will be supporting you, and Mars is planet of action. It's a planet of confidence and passion. Whatever you put your mind on, it seems like you will be very passionate about it. And it's happening in your 12th house, a house where we do everything hidden. Meaning you might be doing some things which you won't be telling to anyone. 12th house is where we do things in solitude, like a resting house. Let's say it's a house of past, and it's the most private house in our chart, and it seems like you might be craving for privacy in whatever you do and whatever you say, whatever you think, whatever is your plan, let's say, for your future, and especially related to your finances, because Mars rules your financial house and where you, let's say, invest your money. And those investment projects might be sort of hidden, because this 1st December new moon indicates to that, Mars supporting that new moon, which is in a hidden area. Now, fourth house is also house of mother. There could be some event happening to your mother. It might be them, let's say, investing into something or having some idea, like moving somewhere, as an example. Or it might be actually you who will be moving, changing, for example, apartment, or changing, I don't know, whole country, because fourth house is also about immigration. Like it's about citizenship, which country we call that we are citizens of. And it might be about that, or either related to those things, like documents. You might be applying to citizenship or to moving somewhere, immigration process, starting immigration process, or vice versa, already getting some news around your application. Let's say you've done your process and now you've been waiting, and this new moon comes in and tells you some news about your moving somewhere, and there is some papers to sign, some documents to sign, might be in the picture too. Now, what else? Let me check. Okay, let's move to 7th of December. Now, 7th of December, we have Mars retrograding. Mars is, planet of action, planet of passion. It's planet let's do things, like let's things happen planet. And it's retrograding until 24th of February, so long, 2025. Now, for 2 months, it will slow down. It will be ineffective. It will have slow motion, and it's happening perfectly in your 12th house. Now, 12th house is a house of rest, where we get rest. And Mars here slowing down seems like telling you to get some rest, to have some retrospective period, what you like to sort out with the things which were, let's say, stuck since past, and you've been postponing things, and it seems like you will need to deal with those things which is related to your past. Now, Mars being a personal planet, here I would like to tell that all personal planets will go retrograde until mid 2025, one after another, overlapping each other. Jupiter, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, they all will go retrograde, meaning first 4 months of 2025 will be sort of a sleeping period because these personal planets, they affect us directly into our lives, like as an event, as a people happening, some turns of events, like things are happening. That's why they are called personal planets, and they are all gonna go sleep, one after another until April. So it means universe is trying to tell us it's gonna be slow start for 2025 to 2025 now. And you also need to go into this sort of motion when you need to stop, when you need to pause, when you need to a little bit reflect on your plans and what you set your mind on in 2025, and launch and start everything in summer or after April. Now let's. I will be talking about these retrogrades a lot in your upcoming yearly horoscope for 2025. I'm getting it ready already, so stay tuned for that. And I would also like to mention, always check your rising sign and moon sign too, because mostly our rising sign is affecting us most, let's say, directly, but in some cases it might be your sun sign and moon sign, so you get to compare actually which sign is influencing you strongly. So make sure to check for your December horoscope as well, all your big three, and that yearly horoscope that is coming up soon. Now let's come back to this Mars retrograde. And as I said, Mars is planet of activities, and 12th house where it's retrograde, it's a planet, it's a hidden house. It's a house of rest. It's sending you directly to sort of rest. Seems like until end of February, even you yourself, you might sort of feel this drop of motivation, drop of sort of spark, and you might feel dealing with something that you're familiar with, but not with new things. And you might feel the pull to finally sort out things that were piling up on your desk. For example, until February, seems like you will get busy on those things. For some of you guys, 12th house, it might mean also about spirituality journey, what like digging yourself inside yourself. It might be that you will get a lot of interested in psychology or in astrology, like, or numerology, all those like subjects which gives people some power to go back into themselves. And it seems like for some of you it will be that sort of journey when you would want to sort of find truth within yourself, who you are and what you want. And it might be even taking up some therapy sessions as well until like end of February you might start. Now 12th house is also house of far lands, and here it seems like Mars will give you this sort of desire to visit somewhere very far, somewhere very secluded, like near water, let's say near ocean, in nature. It might be really like not like 3 hours flight, but it's all the way 12 hours flight as an example. It might give you this kind of this sort of activities as well. Now 12th house is also house of surgeries, and here Mars being a planet of all things sharp and including surgical knives, here it might give you not a surgery, but of course in some cases it might, but in most cases it will be for like checkups. For example, if in the past you already had a surgery or something which was bugging you around your health, And here Mars will let you for those 2 months to focus on that thing which is bugging you uh, in your health, let's say, and will make you go through some checkups, to go see your doctor, see your physician, all these things. You might get busy around your health too, since Mars also rules your another health house too. In some cases, it might be totally and purely about investments because Mars rules your investment house, and you might be trying and looking for ways to invest into some projects which are far, like into some hotels, when there's like a lot of ads when you get to buy some hotel room and get passive income. This kind of options you might be looking at as well until end of February. Now, 7th of December, another transit is taking place. Venus, planet of love and beauty, lover of Mars, moving into your sixth house. Now, sixth house is all about work. And when Venus goes into your sixth house, it meets up Pluto immediately. Now, these two, they met already in your sixth house back in February 2024. So, in the beginning of this year, there might be there was something happening in February or someone happening, let's say at your work. It might be a love relationship, let's say, or it might be business relationship. Because Venus and Pluto, they are both money planets. And if it's about business relationship, that agreement involved a lot of money, but you couldn't forge at that time, for example. And now when a year passed, December comes, and 7th of when Venus meets this Pluto again, seems like that agreement will come back. That opportunity will come back to forge that finally, to make that agreement, to sign that agreement. Seems like in some cases, for example, you've worked whole this year to make this agreement happen, or something was bubbling up but then stopped back in February, and now in December it's again popping up this opportunity. So grab this opportunity. Now, if it's a love thing, then it might be like falling in love with your colleague or with your manager also, because it's happening in your sixth house. And that relationship, it will be again back in December, because they are meeting up back in December. Venus is planet of love, and Pluto, and that type of person seems like very manipulative, also very oppressive. So take care on that and check it out if that person is really compatible with you. Because with Pluto, usually we meet this kind of people. Now, about related to your work, it might be also like foreign clients, whatever is that, like agreements with foreign clients, or bringing a foreign client to your company, or if you like work in sales, like it might be about numbers also. And let's say you hit something, your KPIs back in February, but now again in December you will do the same, and it will be success, all these things. Now, sixth house is also house of health and well-being, and here, with Pluto meeting Venus, will tell you actually to not ignore any signs of, let's say, something which is related in your health. If something will be concerning you, then I would advise you to go for checkups here. 8th of December, we have Neptune going direct. Now, Neptune is more slow-moving planet. It influences us more on a subconscious level. And ever since it went retrograde from July up until now, so it's for the last 5 months, it was retrograding in your seventh house. It was time to time popping up in your mind, sort of thing. It's like a tape that is going on the background all the time. It's not vanishing, it's just there all time to time, giving some ideas around your love relationship, for example, around your marriage, if you married, or if you are in a long-term partnership, then about that. And if it's not about marriage, then it might be about like concerning some sort of business partner, like with whom you do business or work with, and that agreement was bugging you time to time, because Neptune is not like directly affecting us, but more on a spiritual level journey, and more on a like a subconscious mind. So, if you want to know more about this Neptune retrograde, go back to July forecast for you on my YouTube channel, where I spoke a lot about this Neptune going retrograde in your seventh house. But now it's going direct after 5 months, and it seems like you might make up your mind here. You finally might know what was going on, and finally you might clear up the situation related to that relationship, either in business, either in marriage, or in a long-term love partnership, for example. And it seems like if something was on pause, now you will take up some actions further. Let's say if you've been dating long, and since July you've been thinking whether you want to propose or not, whether you want to spend your whole life with this person or not, like take up the real serious thing as a marriage proposal. And now when Neptune goes direct, you will make up your mind either ways, my dear Virgos. Now, 15th of December, we have full moon happening in your career house. Now, full moons are all about conclusions or putting a spotlight onto some situation or a person in your life. Now, full moon is happening in your highest house in the chart. Now, this is a career house happening at 23 degrees, meaning those of you who are born 14th of September, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this full moon. And full moons are ending something, and it might be about some agreement that you finally will make, or but the details will be still confusing because Neptune is very strong in the picture here, and Neptune is famous for making things confusing, and there is a zero clarity, zero visibility. So sort of not let's say conditions are not clear on what sort of conditions this agreement is going to be made, or something like this might be happening. And I would advise you to ask as much as questions as possible before concluding the agreement. Or it might be about your promotion, the same thing. Try to ask as much as possible questions about the conditions of this promotion, about what kind of benefits are adding up to you, and about, of course, salary, how it's increasing, and all the stuff. Now, because it's 10th house, it's a career house, right? So either it's a promotion there, either it's a new totally career, or you might actually ending your career. Like some Virgos might be exiting from the agreement, from the company, or from the industry, let's say. They're finally freeing themselves. Now, Mercury, planet of exactly these deals and contracts and communication, and the ruler, being a ruler of the full moon, and your ruler, my dear Virgos, which is transiting your fourth house, house of family support and real estate, if that's your area, will receive beams from Mars, supportive beams in your far lands house. And it seems like this Mars will be giving you sort of a confidence that you might build a better future somewhere far than you are right now. And that's why you might decide to quit your job, as an example. You might decide that you want to move somewhere else, or you might decide that you invest your money in some hotel business, as an example, or somewhere where it's like abroad, somewhere far. And that's why you are quitting this career, you're finishing this career, and you're totally moving, as an example. And you might all think about your situation here. I'm just trying to give you here some examples. Now, 10th house is also house of father, house of people who we respect or we obey. Now, if it's not your situation, it might be your father's situation. There is something going on, let's say, in your father's marriage, whether it's with your mom, or whether it's another person. So some relationship thing, tension going on there. And it might be that it could be related to real estate, some piece of real estate. Like, let's say, your father's partner not agreeing around some decisions about a particular house or apartment, or about moving somewhere, like relocating somewhere. Seems like there is something going on um, within the family and finances and inheritance topic, especially related to this, real estate topic within your father's life. And this will become known because full moon puts a spotlight there, and it seems like it will affect you too. Now, this tension or family situation could be actually within your family, like between you and your spouse or long term partner in love. It's not about those love relationships that are like dating or just started, but those are who are committed. And it might be there is a tension about a future, about the social status of your relationship. Either you want to take up it to the married one or to break up and all these things. It could be there is a sort of some situation between you and your husband or wife or committed partner, let's say. And it might be related actually to moving somewhere, basing your home somewhere else. There could be some topics going on around that, or I don't know, relocating somewhere, or the house, what kind of house you're going to live in, let's say, like apartment or something. So, either way, one or another. So, this could be around your social status, around your career, and around your father. 15th of December, we have also Mercury, your ruler, going direct. Finally, hallelujah. Now, it's going direct in your fourth house. Since November, it was retrograding, meaning slow down, not as much as a clarity there, and all the details and data was mixing up, mashing up, everything was going wrong and crazy. uh, Now, and when Mercury goes direct, finally we can sign agreements, we can make agreements, we can go to, I don't know, medical procedures, buy electronic stuff. All these things are more or less fine after 15th of December, but better to do it in January because we also have this thing called shadow period of retrograding planets, that when they need to regain its normal speed, so it needs time. So better to do all those things in January. But for you, because you're ruled by Mercury, this is extra important to do so. And when Mercury was retrograding, all these things were happening. Let's say your posts were not delivered, or wrong address, or late deliveries, or totally cancellations, could be some mistakes, wrong address. All these things could have happened. Or on a positive note, some lost objects you could have been finding actually all of a sudden, or some lost post thing like deliveries were getting back to you after so long time while Mercury was retrograding. Now, because it's happening in your fourth house, it could be related to, again, real estate, especially if you are in that business, or you are just an investor. For example, you've been, let's say, thinking about investing into this area, maybe buying a house or an apartment, and now finally it's a great time to start looking for and to forge some agreements. But better do this in January, as I said. Fourth house is also all about your family, and it seems like for the festive holiday, of course, you will see your elders, for example, your grandparents or extended relatives as well. And it's amazing time actually to join with your family in celebration, isn't it? Now, and lastly, there is 30th of December, we have new moon. Amazing, sugar sweet one. It's a gift from universe. It's a gift from 2024, like goodbye gift. This new moon will be perfect one. I can't tell you all about this. Now, new moon will be happening in your house of joy, in your house of creativity, and house of love for life and love for yourself. And it's happening at 9 degrees, meaning those of you who are born 31st of August, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this new moon. And new moon there, it's about new energy. And it's amazing one to start 2025 with this new moon, because It will have support of Saturn, and Saturn is planet of responsibilities, work. It's a no joke planet, which will be situated in your love house. Now, this new moon is also in your love house, but it's like a romance house, your fifth house. And Saturn will be in a committed love house. And for some of you, it might be about a new love story. This New Year's Eve set to be magical. Seems like you might meet someone special there. You might fall in love. You might meet someone who will impress you so much that, and plus, that person will have a power and to stay in your life for long, long years, because Saturn is a planet of age, and it has a potential also. That person has a potential to become your married partner in the future. This is sweet, sugar sweet new moon, especially for those of you who are single. This is amazing one. Go out and mingle jingle for sure. You might meet really your one and only. And almost this is New Year's Eve. It's amazing one. All the love sparkles, here. And it's also joy of life. As I said, seems like you will finally feel that love for yourself and for the life in general. For some of you, if it's not about love, if you say I'm happily married, then it might be about your business. By the end of December, you might decide that you are opening a business, actually, that you might finally decide which area in business you want to take up, and even forge some agreements around 30th of December. I know in many countries 30th and 31st are still working days, so it might be around those days you will sign some contracts, and those contracts will be important and will have a power to stay for a long time, unshakable, unbreakable. Now, like, fifth house is also house of children, and here some of you guys, you might receive news that you are becoming fathers or mothers, because fifth house is exactly house of kids, and Saturn there beaming from your house of spouse. There might be a situation, either that you're already giving birth, like you have a new status there as a parent, or you might knew the news, and it's amazing one, magical one. This new year, I love it. It's set to be miraculous, let's say. Now, I wish you amazing holidays, festive holidays, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Love you all. Bye bye.